Yo, what's up with y'all, man? I hope you're doing good. If you're new and you're a fan of the NBA, subscribe to this channel. So let's get straight into it.
It's like it's Minute Maid, hijack 4, renegade, 24, number 8, Kobe shit fade away, ballin' since 11th grade, still in school, let them hate.
So the Los Angeles Clippers over the last 1, 2, 3 years have had clearly one of the most impressive rebuilds in NBA history. They're able to retool the roster while remaining competitive and keeping fans somewhat tuned in. And a lot of the credit gets thrown Jerry West's way, and it's well deserved. Mans basically lied in the face of franchise player at the time, Blake Griffin. Mans went ahead and sold that man a dream just to go ahead and finesse his heart and ship him out of Los Angeles. Heartless move, yes, but to be honest, I would probably do the same thing, and so would you if you're smart. If you've been watching me for a minute, then you already know how the saying goes. Hop out of your feelings and hop into your bag. And that is exactly what the Clippers did when they detached themselves from Blake Griffin. Oh, and speaking of bags, before I forget, go ahead and check out the newest episode of the Hoops Cast released on this channel right here. We talk about the hottest and a lot of dumb takes from some of you guys watching. And also, don't forget about the hoodies. Give me a second. They are gone this month and won't be back for a very long time. I'm talking 6 to 7 months. So if you haven't already, for one, go ahead and get your swag up and support one of your favorite creators on this platform. Now, enough with all the globbity gloop, let's get to the vibe. It seems like the Clippers literally did not miss during this retooling process. It all started when CP3 decided to move on from them, but he did them a great favor. Before he left, he came to an agreement with management to go ahead and do a sign and trade, thus allowing them to land one of the most important pieces to this entire process. This piece is one of the biggest reasons why this team was so respectable. Lou Williams, the man carried them over his slender but so powerful 6'1", 175-pound frame. Pat, Lou, and Trez are all integral pieces of the death machine that the Los Angeles Clippers are now. They were all products out of Houston, and to think that they would be what they are today is just shell-shocking. The Clippers literally went from rolling out the great but extremely mid and notoriously known underachieving Lob City team to what is now known as, to the majority, the championship favorites. These dudes got hit after hit after hit. They could not miss. Scooping up Kawhi in free agency after willing to comply to all of his requests, unexpectedly trading for PG to solidify their star duo, and most recently stealing a 19-point per game score from the New York Knicks, who I mind you was the most sought after player in the trade deadline. Doing that without giving up any meaningful pieces is just ridiculous. That man Jerry West does not miss. He's just making hit after hit after hit. But wait, hold on, wait a minute. What if I just told you that it ain't really like that? Now, Jerry has taken mostly W's throughout his entire tenure with the Clippers, don't get me wrong. They literally have nothing to complain about because just about every single thing has fallen into place. And most likely will continue to once June rolls around and the NBA Finals come into play. But that's just speaking 4 months from now. What about 4 years from now, though? The only reason why I threw in that tangent is because Jerry's biggest mistake while he's been on this run is not going to be in the minds of most people anytime soon. Because we all like to live in the moment and see immediate progress and results. We could all care less about the Clippers' future, and low-key, they could too. It's clear as day that they are about that action and want all the smoke that anyone has to offer right now. But hey, you know, I had to do it. I had to be the one to bring this up and make a video about this if anyone hasn't already. I don't really know. They could have extended this smoke talk for not just 4 months, a year from now, but 6, 7 years from now. But they decided to go ahead and pass up an opportunity, not only once, but twice, to get this dude in a span of 10 minutes. The 2018 NBA draft was a phenomenal one, but also a weird one, because of the large amounts of hit and misses scattered all over the place. So many teams who thought they chose wisely about their pick are now regretting their decision. Now, the 2018 NBA draft was hella recent, and it's gonna take a couple years for teams to see their true flaws. Going into that late night in June, the Los Angeles Clippers walked into that thing with 2 lottery picks. So this draft mattered. They had to select right because these pieces could potentially turn into trade pieces, and some of them did. Their first selection, they ended up choosing who is now a newly star guard in the NBA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, to no surprise. Now that is the right thing to do. He is not the reason why this video is being made right now. What triggered me to do this video is what they decided to do on back-to-back selections with the 13th overall pick. They went ahead and did this.
2018 NBA Draft. The LA Clippers select Jerome Robinson.
I don't understand why you even did this to yourself. This made you look so stupid.
Now, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the NBA draft and that entire process. Looking into prospects, dissecting their game, and trying to figure out how good they could potentially be in the future if they're put in the right position is literally one of my favorite things to do in this world. I keep an extra close eye on these prospects and what these teams are doing. Go ahead and scroll down my little catalog, bro. I'm extra in tune with the NBA draft process. Now, with that being said, I promise you, I did not know who the hell Jerome Robinson was before his name got called on that stage. Jerome Robinson, in my eyes, then and slick right now, is a 2K generic. He's one of those. I'm sure he's a nice dude and all that, and he'd bust me in a basketball 1v1 competition, but dog, let's be real, he's one of those easily forgettable players. I was shook, and this was literally my exact reaction. What? Shook it because that meant with this selection of Shai and Jerome, that meant that they went ahead and decided to pass up on that man MPJ not once but twice, making a huge statement made and leaving the rest of the NBA world at the time shocked. Now, as stories continued to form about MPJ and his health and what he could potentially be in the future, even with his injured back at the time, we all knew that he wasn't going to be no top 5, no top 3, or even top 7 pick. But to say that you saw this coming, boy, you'd be a damn lie. Out of all the teams like the New York Knicks, Orlando Magic, or heck, we could be talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers in a few years. Who cares about them? We're focused on the Los Angeles Clippers. This L right here is what we're all gonna be talking about 5, 6, 7 years from now. This situation was supposed to go without question because the Clippers were in no rush to win at the moment, and were pretty much in cruise control until the next year or two when certain opportunities met them at their front door. Now, I know y'all ain't gotta run to the comments and run your little ugly mouths and say it in the comment section. The Clippers don't care. Bro, I promise you, every single Clippers fan and Jerry West is not losing no sleep over what they did on that night right now. But you cannot say that Jerry West and the rest of them haven't let that thought slip past by their mind. The thought of MPJ restoring his health and rehabbing back into his full form, popping back out onto the scene and making them even scarier and giving them a reassuring future. With all the assets that they had to dish out for PG, I'm more than sure that they could have either A, saved a couple first round picks by sending MPJ away, or saved themselves from being in an even deeper hole in the future with MPJ on their roster. The Clippers are already nice as is already, but I couldn't even sit here and begin to process the thought of MPJ and how much better he would have made their offense over there. Michael Porter Jr. would have been what Kyle Kuzma is supposed to be on the Los Angeles Lakers. A very capable third option, but due to fortunate circumstances, he's more of a fifth option on that team now. And since he's been on the court, he's literally been automatic offense. He's that lethal and skilled already as a 21-year-old. Moments before the NBA draft, the worst news possible came out for MPJ. And this is probably the reason why the Clippers' interest for him diminished so quickly. First off, I remember this vividly, bro. It was said that this man couldn't even get out of his bed for a workout because his back was hurting so much, and his agent had to go ahead and cancel it. And the final straw for him was reportedly failing 4 physicals for 4 different teams who had interest in him. For all we know, one of those teams could have been the Los Angeles Clippers, but hey, that info has not been out and will not be out anytime soon. But regardless of whether he did or not, considering the circumstances that the Clippers were in, they should have taken him, but they blew it. They blew the opportunity to possibly build a dynasty. They could have been hella strapped, hella good right now, when 6 years after that, because of MPJ's youth, still be around that same level. Imagine having to deal with an aging PG and Kawhi and whatever's left of Lou Williams 5 to 6 years from now, just to face a 25, 26-year-old Michael Porter Jr. who just took a step into his prime. All these crazy thoughts and scenarios that I and many people have will just remain the same. They'll stay as thoughts. And we have to leave it at that. What we have to do though is sit down and talk about the reality that they're faced with. And what they're faced with is an NBA championship this year probably, and maybe even one next year. And what they're faced with was to deal with this random second-year player who didn't seem to have much promise nor any real positive contributions to be made to the team immediately. That's why they were more than happy to part ways with him, even if it was for a 4-month rental. Jerry West could not wait to abort this mistake. But I guarantee you, if MPJ was a Clipper, and let's say that he wasn't dealt to OKC and the Clippers just forked over their draft assets to OKC in order to retain MPJ, no moves would have been made for that man at all, because MPJ's upside in the future is way harder to give up compared to some dude named Jerome Robinson. Now, as I stated earlier, the Clippers and Clippers fans could care less about this situation because they aren't worried about what happens 3, 4, 5 years from now. They're worried about what happens right now as we speak. I give it, let's say, 4 years from now though. Once Kawhi and PG start to slow down and the draft assets slow up because of their willingness to get rid of them, then it'll hit even harder, because by that time MPJ will probably be established as a top 10 small forward in the NBA and potentially Top 5. Clippers gave up 4 first-round picks and gave OKC the option to swap 2 of those picks in the year 2023 and 2025. They have zero control over the NBA draft in the next 6 years. Was it worth it? Yeah. That yes would have been a lot easier to say if they had MPJ on their roster though. Having that type of reassurance makes you a lot more confident about your future, and you cannot lie about that one. This is the end of the video though, man. I really do appreciate you for coming over here on my channel and seeing what I have to talk about today. My camera's about to die, that's why I'm talking really fast, so make sure you go ahead and like this video, comment under this video, and share this video with at least 3 of your friends. And right before I go ahead and check out and cop the newest Evolve release of High Pressure hoodies, and also check out the newest release episode of the Hoopscast. Until then, I'll get right with you. Make sure that you make your day great.
No way, remember back when I couldn't get a play, no home, I ain't have a place to stay, I got to work, made it serve free the way, Told my girl who'd ever thought.